Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from wherever you may be across this bright, beautiful globe. I'm so happy to have you with me for another COVID-19 story time with Rob. And you're in for a treat today because this actually is one of my favorite for the rest of the stories from Paul Harvey. And I love this one, and it has some good history behind it as well. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do telling it to you. So enjoy. This one is called We Salute You. Bob awakened, trembling from a dream that had seemed more vivid than the morning sunlight in his eyes. A dream of the day which now lay before him, a dream of his own death. That wouldn't be a very good dream. That'd be more like a nightmare. Bob accepted the dream as a premonition, and he brooded over it for hours, telling no one. Who among his friends in Oxford, Maryland, would believe such nonsense? That he, Bob, a successful merchant and one of the best loved men in the colonies, was about to be shot and killed. Bob resolved not to leave the house that day. Then he remembered a business obligation. One of his ships had arrived in port, and the captain of that vessel had invited Bob on board for an afternoon dinner party. It was customary in 1750 for the captain of the merchant ship to entertain the consignee before setting sail again. Bob would attempt to break that tradition just this once. He summoned Captain Matthews and apologized personally for his unwillingness to attend the shipboard celebration. Bob even went so far as to tell the captain about his dream, confessing his fear that he would be shot and killed if he ventured out that day. At this point, history itself asks a question. We know that Bob changed his mind and decided to attend the captain's party, but we don't know why. One scholar suggests that Captain Matthews became indignant at the merchant's refusal, and that Bob then reaccepted the captain's invitation to preserve their good business relationship. More likely, however, the captain assured Bob he would be safe. The vessel was armed for defense, after all, and Bob, now slightly embarrassed that he'd even taken a mere dream so seriously, told the captain he would be on board at the appointed time. What you're about to read, we know for sure. That afternoon, Bob went down to the dock with Captain Matthews, boarded a small vessel propelled by oars and sails, and set out for the big merchant ship, which was moored further down the bay. Aboard the merchant ship, Bob was wined and dined and entertained by pipes and dancing sailors. Finally, Bob was willing to admit that dreams were only dreams, and that life was well worth living in spite of them. It was still light when he boarded the small sailing vessel for his return to Oxford. Captain Matthews would escort him home. Bob, the Maryland merchant, was really Robert Morris Sr. His son, Robert Jr., was in that summer of 1750 a boy of 16 years old. You should know him. Robert Morris Jr. was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He was a wealthy patriot who had been called the financier of the American Revolution. His money saved our government from bankruptcy. You see, his money sent George Washington to Yorktown to force the surrender of General Cornwallis. The foundation upon which Robert Morris Jr., his son, built his fortune was $7,000 that he inherited from his father, the beloved Maryland merchant you've already met, the man who dreamed of his own doom. For Robert Morris Sr. really did lose his life that summer day in 1750. He really was shot and killed It happened after he left the merchant ship and boarded the small ship-to-shore vessel. It happened as he was sailing away. For there was another 18th century tradition at that time. Upon departing a merchant ship, the merchant consignee was always saluted by the ship's cannon. Robert Morris Sr., aged 39, had not quite sailed beyond the cannon's range. His own ship saluted him to death. And now you know the rest of the story. Well, until tomorrow, hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And please feel free to share these, copy, paste, or send a link to friends or family, and hopefully you enjoy it and they enjoy it as much as I do. Until tomorrow, be safe.